The night we went into the Hawkins mansion, you don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital, and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Seems you two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island. Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The chemistry is obvious.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I? Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dass Bradley sich aber nicht an die Tunnel erinnert, das ist... Aber er hat eine Lücke im Gedächtnis. Die Frage ist nur, was ist da passiert? Er wurde doch auch schwer verletzt.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course. He's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Na gut. Die Sanders und die Sarah Hawkins standen sich nahe, ganz ohne Zweifel. Die Witwe hat mir nicht alles erzählt. Ihr Haus dagegen spricht Bände. Alles begann mit Francis Sanders Besessenheit mit dem Schlurf, einem auf mehr als eine Weise herausragenden Gemälde. So weit bin ich doch noch gar nicht. Ich war doch noch gar nicht bei der Witwe. Francis Sanders war angeblich ein anerkannter Kunstsammler. Ich muss seine Witwe Sanders befragen, um mehr über seine Verbindung zu Sarah Hawkins zu erfahren und die Identität des Besuchers vor seinem Tod zu lüften. Dr. Fuller, 52. Dr. Fuller ist der unangefochtene Kopf des Riverside-Instituts und Herr der Kellergewölbe, in denen er verbotene Experimente an seinen Patienten durchführt. Ich weiß nicht, was er mit mir angestellt hat, aber nach einem Unfall beim Einsturz der Tunnel unter dem Anwesen der Hawkins sollte ich nicht schon wieder auf den Beinen sein. Dieser Mann ist gefährlich und ich könnte schwören, dass er mehr über all die Vorgänge hier weiß, als er erzählen möchte. Na schön. Hier könnte ich was trinken, wenn ich wollte. Will ich aber nicht unbedingt jetzt.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Wohnsitz der Sanders. Pierce, Colden und Bradley beschlossen, den Fall Sarah Hawkins gemeinsam zu lösen. Sie haben eine neue Spur, der sie nachgehen. Francis Sanders, ein Kunstsammler und Freund der Malerin, der direkt vor Pierce starb. Der Detektiv geht zu dessen Haus, um mit seiner Witwe über den Schlurfer zu sprechen, den der Mann vor seinem Tod erwähnte. Okay. Oh, das sieht ja fast aus wie ein Museum gerade. Also wirklich ein leidenschaftlicher Kunstsammler.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Oh, Cat ist zurück.
You know each other?
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
I expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir. I had long months to weep every tear in my body, and to accept, if not my fate, at least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Okay, wir können uns aber trotzdem noch ein wenig umschauen hier. Das sollten wir auf jeden Fall machen.
Did she really care for him after all?
Sehr geehrte Dame, ich bestätige den Empfang Ihres Schreibens, indem Sie den Leichnam Ihres verstorbenen Mannes verlangen. Leider muss ich Ihnen mitteilen, dass ich Ihnen seinen Leichnam nicht aushändigen kann. Bei seiner Einweisung unterzeichneten Sie eine Einverständniserklärung, die mir erlaubt, den Körper nach eigenem Ermessen zu beseitigen. Ich möchte Ihnen mein tiefstes Beileid aussprechen. Thomas Fuller.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Ein Foto von Sarah Hawkins neben Sender. Sie müssen sich wohl nahestehen. Wait, ich kann rekonstruieren.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Oh.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Okay. Dieser zweite Band in der Reihe deckt von Gasödemen bis Kriegsnephritis alles ab. Neben einer präzisen und detaillierten Studie führt dieses Buch fortschrittliche Theorien auf. Die unglaubliche Komplexität dieses Werkes beschränkt die Leserschaft auf medizinische Experten.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Eine Tonaufzeichnung, die Francis Sanders seiner Frau Irene überlassen hat. Können wir hier direkt reinmachen? Na, da.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Ich will mich hier erst mal umschauen. Was ist denn hier drin? Da komme ich nicht rein. Was ist hier? Da komme ich auch nicht hin. Hier auch nicht. Ich würde gerne mit Cat sprechen. Ach, da ist sie ja. Passt ja perfekt.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Ein altes Amulett, vermutlich indianischen Ursprungs. Ich frage mich, welchen Zweck es wohl hatte. Was haben wir hier?
I could use one of those.
Ich fand diese Schlaftabletten im Haus der Sanders. Wurden sie Francis oder eher Irene Sanders verschrieben? Gute Frage.
An old diary.
Okay, in dieser Ausgabe geht es um Reverend Wickwoods Gemeinde. Seine Frau beschreibt ihre Sorgen über die seltsamen Träume, die die Gemeinde des Reverends seit ihrer Ankunft heimsuchen. Einige Mitglieder der Gemeinde und auch ihr Ehemann begannen vor ihrer Vision eines von Gott gesandten Boten zu sprechen. Sie hat Angst, dass sie das gleiche Schicksal erleiden wie der verlorene Stamm. Aha.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Lieber Francis, ich bitte dich, die Hoffnung aufzugeben, jemals dieses verfluchte Gemälde zu besitzen. Wenn du unserer Freundschaft auch den kleinsten Funken Bedeutung zuschreibst, dann erspare dir die Last der Schuld. Ich kann nicht die Schöpferin des Untergangs sein. Ich bitte dich, mein lieber Freund, vergiss den Schlurfer. Deine Freundin Sarah Hawkins. Ob sie vielleicht von ihrem Mann dann gezwungen wurde, das Bild wegzugeben? Vielleicht? Eine gebundene Ausgabe einer studentischen Arbeit. Obwohl die Beobachtungen relevant sind, fehlt die Expertise dieses erfahrenen Arztes. Mit den gestellten Fragen können wir uns aber neue Wege vorstellen, die menschliche Anatomie zu erforschen. Medizin steigt nur langsam. Aber ich habe wieder 2 Punkte. Sehr gut. Nur noch einer. Da kann ich alle Schlösser knacken. Endlich. Warte mal kurz.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or